Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I make videos for NFL. All these videos, they get posted on this subreddit. I'll have a link to that down below. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. You can ask me questions about the slate, pretty much anything you need. You can comment down here, and I will reply to you. If you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can do so on Twitter. Right here, here are my handles. That'll be linked down below as well. So before we get into this nice little 8-game slate, let's go over my lineups from yesterday. This is NFL. Really good day in NFL. We absolutely nuked NFL today. And then we absolutely nuked basketball yesterday. So before we get into my lineups, if you are interested in joining my Discord, where if you guys watch these videos, you see I've been absolutely nuking every single NBA slate, where I give you guys a core of 4 players to play, private videos, night slate content, showdown cores, just a whole bunch of stuff that'll also be linked down below. So yeah, this was night slate. I binked it. I don't know what else to say. I just absolutely nuked it. My core for this night slate was Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Kelly Olynyk, and Duop Reith. Absolutely smashed. Rounded out my lineup with Max Christie, LeBron James, Moses Moody, and Kyrie Irving. Phenomenal day, and a phenomenal day with NFL today as well. This is my main slate lineup. Unfortunately, Tyrese Maxey did me in, and the Jimmy Butler just random, and I mean random blowout, just absolutely breaking the slate. Unbelievable. So my core for this slate, it's smashed. Thomas Bryant was a core play for me. Obviously, he nuked. Miles Bridges was a core play for me. He nuked. Jimmy Butler was a core play for me. He was absolutely smashing. And then the blowout. I forget what I had as a core play as the fourth. Maybe I didn't have a fourth for this. I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. Might have not had a fourth, but Craig Porter was borderline core. I told everyone he was probably one of the best value plays in the slate outside of the centers. Oh no, I told everyone to get to another value center, if that was Gafford or Orlando Robinson. I did not, because this slate was so crazy, and I didn't get to build my lineup until after some games locked, so I was kind of stuck with the Bulls, unfortunately. So core nuke. I didn't do good on the main slate, but I absolutely nuked the night slate. So really good day overall. Let's get into this 8-game slate. So Chicago at Toronto. News we need to monitor here is going to be Zach LaVine is questionable. Not the best spot here, right? Toronto, they play slow. They're good defensively. So if LaVine's in, you know what I'm going to say here. DeMar, LaVine, Vooch, they're all playable. No one stands out at their price points given the matchup. If it was a different matchup, I would have interest in the main 3 guys. I just don't love the spot for them, but they're all playable. If this was a normal matchup, like I said, they would all be too cheap once again. But I think given the matchup, they're all kind of priced where they should be. If they're in, I guess DeMar would be my favorite. Whoever's the cheapest, I just prefer. So no standouts here. Kobe White would be priced right. I mean, if Cruiser continues to start, you can go to him, but he's not playing huge minutes right now, and he's almost 5K. Patrick Williams would go back to the bench. There just wouldn't be much here. Now, if LaVine's out again, that does change some things. Patrick Williams played huge minutes. We don't have a ton of value on this slate. I would like Patrick Williams quite a bit for value. DeMar, Vooch, those two get a boost. I would like DeMar DeRozan quite a bit. I think Vooch will be solid. Kobe White, I would like quite a bit. He gets a minutes bump and a usage bump. Caruso would be fine, but like I said, we don't have a ton of value on this slate, so I would like some Patrick Williams, even though he's not going to be the highest usage guy in this lineup. He did play huge minutes, so would like me some Paw. And then I think that'll wrap it up for Chicago. Let's move on to Toronto. So Chicago, they play very slow, so it's not the best spot here either. Scotty, Siakam, I think they're both fine plays. No one stands out at their respective price points. If I were to pick one of them, it would be Siakam, but both good tournament plays. I don't think either will be owned too much. It's just any game that Chicago plays, it feels like it's played at like molasses pace. But we know both the top two guys are going to lead the way pretty much in every category here. Stuffing the stat sheet, offensively, minutes, it's these two guys. So I don't mind either for tournaments. Schroeder, I think, is priced about right, been a bit quiet of late, except for this game. He does have this type of ceiling. He'll be the main ball handler as well. So the floor is a bit high. Once again, don't love the spot though. And then I guess we'll keep an eye on Precious news. If Precious is out, I actually really like Pirtle at 5.9K because if Precious is out, I think Pirtle is going to be locked in for around 30 minutes. And he's over a fantasy point per minute guy. So if you give him 30 minutes, he has this type of upside. So Precious is out. I really like Jakob Pertl at 5'9". Like I said, I'm not scared of Vooch defensively. It's a good spot. So, like me some Pertl if Precious is out. If Precious is in, he's more of just a tournament flyer for me because then the minutes become a bit more riskier. OG at 5'8" seems priced right, more of a filler play. He'll play big minutes, but good defender, can get defensive stats. Find us like a last piece in for me. Don't love much else here. We don't have a ton of value, so if you want to go to like a Gary Trent off the bench, fine, but don't love it. All right, Miami. So I think we could have an edge here. So Bam Adebayo is questionable. Duncan Robinson is questionable. Orlando Robinson is back into the G League. Do not play him unless he gets recalled back up if Bam's out. So I think there could be a tiny edge here if Bam gets rolled out. So if Bam is out, and they start Thomas Bryant again at the flat mid price, obviously he would be one of the best value plays in the slate. But if they start Bryant, I would assume Kevin Love would be the one getting the backup 5 minutes. I also think he would actually be a pretty solid value as well. I don't think a lot of people are going to click on him. And then if they recall back up Orlando, which I don't think they would with Love back, it becomes a bit trickier. But I would really like Brian if he starts, and I would like Love quite a bit for value. And then if Duncan's out, I would assume Caleb Martin moves into the starting lineup. Minutes did uptick last game as well. I would like him quite a bit for value. And then I would like Butler a lot, even though the spot isn't the best. Jackas gets a boost, he's playable. Kyle Lowry gets a boost, I'd have interest in him. There would just be a ton to like if both Duncan and Bam's out here for Miami. I would just really like this team, even though the spot isn't the best. Now, if they are in, then, not much like Bam, Butler, they're both fine. Duncan's priced right. Jackas don't love the price. Kyle Lowry, I guess, would be fine still. And then Kevin Love has been getting the backup 5, I think, of late. So it would be an interesting value play, but there wouldn't be too much here if they're all in. Highsmith, he does have these random ceiling games when he goes for like 10 blocks, but I don't know if I can do it on the slate. But yeah, keep an eye on that Bam news. I would think Kevin Love would be very, very interesting. I would assume he would get the backup 5. So let's move on to the next tough spot here. Don't really have any interest in the main guys like Randall Brunson. They're always playable for tournaments. RJ has a ceiling. If Bam gets rolled out, it's a really, really good spot for Mitchell Robinson. So I'd have interest in Mitchell Robinson if Bam Adebayo does get ruled out. Just because, I always like to target, kind of like Daniel Gafford. I think Kevin Love is just such an easy target. And if he's going to get minutes against Kevin Love, it'd be a fantastic spot for him. And then even Thomas Bryant. So would be interested in Mitch if Bam gets rolled out. And then there's just not much else here for me. Let's move on to Detroit. So who's ready for Chalk Cade tomorrow? Because I think Cade looks like one of the best mid-range plays on the slate. I don't know if he'll be chalk. I just assume he's going to be popular, but sub 8K going up against the Pacers who are allowing infinite points, playing huge minutes. I mean, I absolutely love K tomorrow. It's scary because he's always in foul trouble. He's up, he's down. Definitely could make an argument for fading if he's popular tomorrow, but disregarding ownership, I absolutely love Cade on this slate. Thompson's fine at 6'8". Prefer getting up to Cade, and I think it's a pretty good spot for Duran. I actually like him quite a bit. So, like the main 3 Pistons here, Stu, no thank you with Duran back. Bojan's out. Looked like he could have come back, but looks like he will be out. For Friday, I don't think I have any interest in the value plays. I think I just have main interest in Duran Thompson. I really like Cade. Good spot here. I mean, I'm not going to say no if you want to play Halburn. I'm not going to say no. Now, getting up to the price points where like Giannis and Jokic is, so it's kind of like, okay, would I rather play Giannis or would I rather play Jokic or would I rather play Halliburton? Personally, for me, I'd rather play like Giannis in a fantastic spot. Jokic, even though Houston's been good defensively this season, it's kind of up to you on what you want to do there. But I'm not going to say no if you want to play Halliburton at this price in a fantastic matchup, playing huge minutes, just stuffing the stat sheet, doing everything for this team. Not going to say no there. Miles Turner, I don't mind him at 7-2. I think he's an interesting tournament play just because this game environment should be really, really high scoring. The pace should be pretty good, so there should be a lot of scoring, a lot of rebound opportunities for Miles Turner as well. I don't mind him. I think he's interesting for tournaments. And then we'll keep an eye on Naismith and Nemhard. If they're going to continue to be out and they keep going with Buddy Hield in the starting lineup, I do like Buddy Hield as well. Like I said, environment of this game, a lot of points are going to be scored. We know Buddy Hield really likes to shoot the ball. He's playing huge minutes now. I will say he's not going to keep shooting this well from the field. He's also very, very scoring reliant. So if he's going to be a popular play tomorrow, I think a good way of going about that is just not playing him. But I don't have ownership right now, so disregarding all of that, I think he is a solid play. And then Bruce Brown at 5'8", I think is just very, very safe. I'm going to play low to mid 30s minutes. Solid rebounder. I don't mind him. And then, like I said, we'll monitor Naismith, we'll monitor Nemhard, we'll monitor what they do with the starting lineup. If you played Jalen Smith the other day, you got incredibly lucky when he was nuking, just randomly only played 5 minutes. Miles Turner played I thought he played more than that. I forget what they did. They go to Jackson or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, this game definitely looks appealing for tournaments. All right, Keegan Murray is going to be out, it looks like. Yep. So you're going to get Chris Duarte in the starting lineup. I think he's pretty good value. Not going to be high usage on the court, but we're starving for value on the slate. Gotten a massive foul trouble here. I'm expecting, around 30 minutes for him, so he stands out as one of the better value plays on the slate. Sabonis Fox, Minnesota has been probably the best defensive team in the league, or one of the best, top 3. Not the best spot, some more contrarian plays for me. Herter, Monk, Barnes, they're all just there for me. I think I'm mainly just looking to like Duarte here. All right, Minnesota, McDaniel's going to be out, so you're going to get NAW in the starting lineup. I mean, I think he's a pretty solid value. I like both the value plays in this game quite a bit. Played 29 minutes last game in a massive blowout up against the Sixers. Guy's not scared to shoot the ball. So I do like some NAW, and I really like Ant, and I really like Cat. It's a good spot, pace-up spot. This game should be played fast. I think Ant, I think Cat, both are too cheap. I think they both look like very solid plays. I like Rudy Gobert as well. Should play those 30 minutes, double upside every slate. Good defender, can get blocks, steals. I still like him at that price point. Conley's fine. With McDaniels out, you're going to get more minutes for guys like Slow-Mo. I think he's a reasonable value in the mid-range, and then Naz Reid will get high teens minutes, good point per minute guy, a playable value. Don't love much else there. Let's move on to Washington. So more of a contrarian team for me, but like Kuzma, Poole, if they have any chance of keeping this game close, it's going to be these two guys doing it. So I always have interest in both for tournaments because the ceilings are massive when they're going up against good teams, even bad teams, but if they're going up against really good teams, and if they do keep the game close, they are going to play big minutes, and one of these guys is going to have a really big game. So I do have interest in Kuz, interest in Poole for tournaments. Denny, I think it's priced right. I think I'd rather just get up to Poole. Tyus, minutes kind of been all over the place, more of a tournament play. This is what I will say. Milwaukee hasn't been the best against guards this season, so if I knew Tyus was going to play 35 minutes again, I'd probably play him at this price point. So do what you want with that. I do have interest in Tyus. Cool Bally's overpriced. Really bad spot for Gafford. Price came up. No interest there. Not much else. Let's move on to Milwaukee. So fantastic spot here. I mean, I think Giannis is probably my favorite spin up on the slate. I mean, he should just be able to feast here. You guys always I like to target anyone that has a chance of going up against Daniel Gafford as well. So love me some Giannis. I think Dame is actually fine, honestly. I don't mind him just because the matchup. Bobby Portis overpriced. I think Brook Lopez is actually solid at 5'8" too. You guys know I love targeting Daniel Gafford. She'll play big minutes. Good defender, can get blocks, steals like this. They're not going to do this every game, but he does have this type of upside. I like Brook Lopez too. It's disgusting, but I do. Middleton, no thank you. Beasley, they'll change what they're doing with the closing lineups. Hard to go there. The values will just have better value. But yeah, I like Brook Lopez, and I really like Giannis. Denver, so Jokic always a top spend up for me. I do give the edge to Giannis point per dollar. Not the best of spots. MPJ, Gordon, they're both just filler plays for me. Reggie, no. Not much here. Just Jokic at the top. And not much here either. Sengun in a really tough spot. No. Fred's fine because he's playing 55 minutes a game, I guess. So the floor is really, really high with him. And then Jalen, no. Jabari's priced right. Dylan Brooks is priced right. Not going to get to anyone else. All right, last two set of games here, guys. Spurs at Warriors. So really, I mean, Wemby should just be able to feast in this matchup. I really like Wemby for tournaments, even at this price point. But just know, if you do play him, the range of outcomes with him do widen. Like the floor is actually really low for him, but the ceiling is there, and I think he should just be able to feast here. So I like Wemby for tournaments. Keldon, I think, is interesting for tournaments just because also the ceiling is there. But seems priced right. Zach Collins, Vassell, Sochan overpriced. Not much else here. Moving on to the Warriors, so another good spot here. I think Steph at 9.7K is definitely intriguing for tournaments. Hasn't been great this year, but we all know Steph Curry has this type of upside. He goes unknown to every single slate, so I like Steph for tournaments. Chris Paul, I think, is solid as well at 7.2K, just doing everything for this team with all the ball handling, stuffing the stat sheet. So playing huge minutes as well. So I think Chris Paul is solid even at that price point. Clay, I mean, if you want to play him, go for it. Has had good back-to-back games. At this point, his career is washed, but should play decent minutes. Probably going to chuck the ball. Has 50 fantasy point upside. Fine for tournaments. Has nice eligibility as well. Looney, no. Wiggins, no. The value, no. Don't think I'll be going to any of the value there. Pelicans, really bad spot. Ingram, Zion, they're more contrarian plays for me. Jonas, I will say the minutes have been a lot better of late. Like he's been getting close to 30 minutes a game. He got into foul trouble here. So if people aren't going to pick up that they are actually giving Jonas more run of late, I like him for tournaments. I mean, not the worst spot going up against you either. So I do have interest in Jonas. Herb overpriced, Dyson's overpriced, don't love much else here. And then Clippers, they're all just fine. Like, they're the Bulls to me. Paul, Kawhi, Harden. They're all playable. I think Harden's my favorite given price point and matchup. Westbrook, two prices to get to off the bench. Zubac, kind of the same thing I'll say with like Jonas. They are giving him the run, but I'd rather just play Jonas. But playable. And then Man, we'll keep an eye on Pal. If Pal is out, it's just going to solidify minutes for Man. I think Man would be a solid value. So keep an eye on that. And then just more minutes for the main guys. Maybe some more minutes for Westbrook as well. So that's going to wrap it up for the slate. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you all in the next one.